to remember. So it's still an active wind event out there, and so if you do come across any power lines, we just ask that you assume that they are energized, and call, if you do come across any down power lines, to please call 911 first and then call Avista. Please stay away from them. Do not drive over them. Do not try to, if there's a branch on them, do not try to get the branch off. And then related to generators, we know some of our customers may be using generators at this time, and we ask that ensure the generators have a disconnect switch and they're connected to the home side. We want to make sure that our crews are safe as they're out there trying to restore the system and do that as safely and quickly as possible. We also want to remind customers not to have generators inside their house. That's obviously at risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. And then finally, we have been getting some reports of trees falling on our natural gas meters. And so we want to remind customers, if you have that situation or if you just smell gas at all, to please call Avista as soon as possible. So I know that there's been a lot of comparisons of this event to other recent wind events that we've had in our communities, the November 2015 wind event and the January 21 wind event. So I thought I'd give a few comparisons of this historic event, because it is historic, related to the wind gusts that we've seen. The top wind gusts that we saw in 2015 was 71 miles per hour. Then in 21, we saw 76 miles per hour, and we saw over 80 mile per hour wind gusts with this event. We had about 180,000 customers out in 2015, about 70,000 in 21, and with this event at our peak this morning, we had about 80,000 customers out of power. However, we've already been able to restore almost 30,000 customers, and so we're just about 50,000 customers out of power right now. We did have a similar situation related to the saturation of the ground with this event and the 2015 windstorm, and so that obviously exacerbated the wind effects on the damage to our system. We also saw a broader footprint of impact for this event compared to the 2015 windstorm. It was much more concentrated in Spokane. And so that means that our crews are out more broadly assessing the damage, and that's really the state we're in right now because of that broad footprint. We have our crews, our teams out just trying to assess what is the level of damage that our system has seen. We have crews out in the field. We have other crews on their way to support. So we do feel good about how we're able to respond. And related to those other previous events as well, we very much appreciate how our community comes together, and what we call it is Storm Strong. And we've seen that time and again with these kind of events, and we're experiencing that now. And so we want to share our appreciation for our customers' patience and for how the community is coming together to support each other. We are looking at, with the resources we have, with the crews that are coming, we do expect to have the majority of customers restored by the end of day on Friday, with full restoration completed through the weekend based on the breadth of damage that we are seeing. We are also working on estimated restoration times and expect to have those on our website and available for customers to see by the end of the day today. Those will be initial estimated restoration times. And as we get better information on the damage to the system, we'll continue to update those. So once again, I just want to thank our customers for patience as we work together with other responders to restore the damage from this historic event. And with that, I'll hand it over to Josh.
Thanks, Heather. So I wanted to follow up and also thank all of our crews who are working tirelessly in these challenging conditions to restore customers, and really appreciate the patience of our communities and our customers as we work through this event to get the power back on. Avista always starts preparing for those events as soon as the wind advisory come in effect, and so over the course of the last several days, we've been planning and monitoring and making adjustments to the plan. Overnight, the winds did hit, and they hit pretty strongly, like Heather mentioned, and right now with the sustained winds, we normally count on helicopters to assess the damage, but the winds are still too strong, and we're having to do all of our assessment from the ground. And so as we continue to assess, we'll have more information and work towards restoring. Right now, we have over 45 Avista crews working on the ground and 6 contract crews and over 30 vegetation management crews working to clear up the debris. Our system, there's a picture over here that alludes to this. So our system is comprised of a transmission system and a distribution system. And our transmission is really the interstate highway of our electric infrastructure. And when that's not working, our local distribution system can't work. And right now we have over 20 sections of transmission that are down that are causing a lot of these outages. And so from a priority perspective, we need to spend time restoring those parts so we can get to those local communities. Many of our customers may not see damage down in their communities, but it's because we're focused on that transmission to get those communities back up and running. And so we appreciate everybody's patience as we go through this event. Like Heather shared, if you want any updates or need information, we refer you to our myavista.com or our Avista Utilities app. So thank you.
Okay, thank you everybody. We'll now enter our question and answer portion of the briefing. So both of them will be at the podium. Feel free to ask any questions that you have.
Good?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
So I think you guys mentioned restoring obviously the next few days into the weekend. So I just want to make it clear so I don't get it wrong. Some people may be without power on the weekend possibly.
That is correct. Yep.
Do you have like specific locations where you think it's going to take longer to restore power than others? Like maybe with bigger transmission?
Yeah, so some of our outlying areas, the storm really hit the eastern part of our system the hardest. So Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, Kellogg, Silver Valley, St. Mary's, those areas were hit hardest, and a lot of the transmission's down in those areas. So that's the area that we think it's going to take longer to work through. Versus Spokane, most of it's distribution work that we're assessing and working through right now.
So that's here in MNC Friday or
Correct. It's a combination of trees coming through our line, and sometimes the wind gusts were so powerful they just took down transmission in open field, for example. And so when those lines come down, it takes us a little bit longer to restore those. They're bigger structures and they take more crew resources to build back up. So as we find those and identify them, we're going to focus on those alongside, like in Spokane, really focus on the distribution restoration.
Is there a question or concern you've gotten over and over again this morning from customers that you just want to clarify one more time? Anything, a trend that you've seen all morning long coming through your resident systems? Anything that comes to mind?
I think the main question we always get in these situations is estimated restoration time. When am I personally going to get my power back? And so that's what takes some time because we have to get eyes on the system and understand where all the impacts are. And so that's where we expect to have initial estimated restoration times populated by the end of the day today, knowing that we'll continue to have better information as we go forward, and we'll continue to update those as we get better information.
Yeah. And as the storm wears on, I think another common question is, why is my power not on but my neighbor's is? And our electric system isn't necessarily street by street, house by house. It's kind of intermixed. And so sometimes they might be served by a peer utility, or their segment just may not have been touched yet. So there's a combination. That's another common concern for customers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm curious as to what challenges you just faced out there today. I mean, you did a great job comparing this storm to other storms. I know no two storms are the same, but
Yeah.
could you just kind of explain what you guys were facing out there?
Yeah, I think I'll highlight, normally we count on aerial patrol. So by this time, normally in a storm, we would have flown a majority of our system and have really good insight onto what's broken. And today we can't do that. So our crews are spending their time right now in trucks with two-man crews traversing the system trying to find the break. So that's a big challenge for us today. Another example is one of our local offices in St. Mary's. The crews were stranded at home because crews came down and blocked the highways at their house. So we couldn't even get all of our crews out to respond right away. So those are some unique challenges we're faced with this storm. And the winds still are not supposed to subside until 4 o'clock this afternoon. It will keep us out of the air until then.
And it sounds like you guys, though, were able to have a lot less families out of power this time than the 2021 storm. What is it that you guys have prepared or to make that happen?
I would attribute that to our wildfire resiliency work we've done. Over the last 3 years, we've invested more in grid hardening and vegetation management than we ever have before. So we're clearing back more trees further away from our lines so that they don't get into the wind as much, and then our grid hardening efforts. So we're making the system more robust. On the transmission system, we've been changing out our wood poles to steel structures so they're more resilient to the wind. So over the last 3 or 5 years, we've been making more investment on hardening than we ever have before, and we see that today.
And after every one of the events, We do lessons learned, after action reviews, and make sure that we're even more prepared for the next event. So we're getting better every single time.
Can you just give some advice? Today I was out at the Avista crew, and there's lots of looky-loos who, maybe are not staying on the sidewalk. What could you say there to people who might be out and about today?
I would just encourage people to watch from a distance. They are actively working on possibly energizing hazardous lines, and so like Heather mentioned, down power lines, don't assume they're off. They can still be energized, and those crews are trained to work on those safely. So watch from afar, stay out of the way because it can be hazardous work.
And just to confirm, the statement 45 is out right now?
46 Avista, 6 contractor, and with more on the way. Up to 15 more coming this way right now.
And you expect to have solid out like that for our release?
Yep, that's correct.
Is there anything else that we didn't ask that comes to mind? David, anything else that we might have missed?
No, thank you so much. I think that concludes the question and answer portion of the briefing. We'll go ahead and move on to the one-on-one interviews if you guys are interested in those. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
With updated numbers? Yes, so we related to what we're experiencing right now. So we started talking to about 8,000 customers out,
Okay.
and now we're about
Sounds
6,000
good.
customers
All right.
out
Thanks,
current
David.
days, and the last couple hours, we've been able to restore that many. And then the peak gusts compared to what we saw in the windstorm, we saw 71 in 2015, and we saw over 80 miles per hour gusts this windstorm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, not a problem. I'm